My conversation with Ben Carson soon turned to religion. Now, let's talk a little bit about your faith. You told me a while back that you felt called to run, that you were going to retire to your nice home in Florida, and that you said to God, if you'll open the doors, I'll walk through them. Have you always been this way, and do you worry at all that this might be a bit off-putting to people who don't have a deep religious faith?
Well, you know, I believe everybody is entitled to the beliefs that they want to have, and that's why the First Amendment is so important, freedom of religion. People who say that religion has nothing to do with their life probably don't know exactly what religion is. You know, just because you don't necessarily believe in God or in Jesus doesn't mean that you don't have a religion. Even atheism is a religion. You have something that you believe in without complete evidence that it exists. And it does inform who you are, and it informs how you think, and it informs how you relate to other people. And we need to always protect freedom of religion.
And as a non-politician, as a longtime pediatric neurosurgeon, you have a special appeal in this campaign, and you've risen to second place in most polls. But no one's ever won a competitive primary without throwing some punches and counterpunching when they're attacked. Now, you're kind of a soft-spoken guy. Do you have to do that? Are you willing to do that?
I don't feel any need to really get into the mud, to get into the wrestling match. What I do feel a need to do is to talk about the actual issues, talk about the actual solutions, because I believe our country is actually in a lot of trouble. I believe that's the only reason that I've gotten into this race. That's the only reason that a person like me would even gain traction, because there are enough people who recognize that is in fact the case, and that we're not necessarily looking for traditional politics. We're looking for people who have a history of solving complex problems and of utilizing the resources and the people around them in order to get that done.
Just briefly, is it hard to get attention for talking about the issues, given all the media static out there about the flap of the day?
It does become difficult sometimes when dealing with the media, but that's one of the reasons that I spend a lot of time out there amongst the people. And I've been out there amongst the people for many years, actually, and it's been a tremendous advantage to me because people have had an opportunity to hear me in person and to see who I really am as opposed to who I'm portrayed as by some people who perhaps have different motives.
Dr. Ben Carson, thanks very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Coming up, Laura Ingraham on why talk radio is a more sympathetic venue for Donald Trump than the conservative media elite. And later, David Gregory breaks his silence about being ousted at Meet the Press.